This is Sean Lee, and Sean is part of the violin faculty of Perlman Music Program. He will be working with me. Sean is in charge of the bad stuff, scales, sulamot. We've got to have, sulamot, scales is very, very important, and I'm not going to listen to scales because it's me. But Sean will listen to scales. So do we know the sort of the schedule as to what's going to happen?
The Israeli participants will each get 2 lessons with each of you, 2 lessons with Mr. Perlman and 2 lessons with Sean.
Right.
Okay, so Sean, what do you usually work on, these things?
Well, like Mr. Perlman said, I like scales. I believe in scales as being one of the best ways to improve your violin playing. So your lessons with Mr. P will usually be with John Root at the piano, who is amazing, and you'll have a great time playing with him. Your lessons with me will be without
Boring.
piano. Yeah, boring, painful. So usually with your lessons with me, we'll talk more about just violin playing and practicing and things like that. So basically all of your lessons with me will begin with the scale. And
would you do etude as well? Etudes?
Yeah, an etude of some sort, whether it's Don't or Kreutzer or Paganini, whatever you normally work on with your teacher is fine. So that's how it'll work. And so basically each week you'll have, I'm assuming, a lesson with Mr. P and also a lesson with me. So that'll be 4 lessons throughout the residency. And I'd like to practice something I just learned. Tit amnu al sulamot.
Very good.
Wow.
Very good.
Tov.
Tov.
Tov. That's Mary's new word. And only word.
Super Tov.
Yeah, super Tov, yes.
Mr. Perlman, what kinds of repertoire should they bring to you?
Okay, that's a little tricky. What I want you to bring to me is not something that you practiced for the last 10 years, and also not something that you just don't know and you're going to learn. So something that you're familiar with, let's say you practice it a month, 2 months, and so on. And what I would like you to do is I would like to send me a list of choices, and then I will choose what I would like to hear. It's so that, in other words, you have to be comfortable, but I don't want you to bring something that you're totally bored with, because you've played it so much and so on. But the important thing is don't bring me something new, because the program is small, תוכנית מאוד קצרה, and so we don't want to waste the program by you just learning the notes. So in other words, you should be familiar with what you're bringing me. But the important thing is I'd like some choices. So you can email those to the email that is provided.
Yeah.
That's one thing. The other thing is that in the lesson, please bring a copy. When we decide what you're going to play, I need a copy for myself so I can watch it. Doesn't have to be a piano part, can be the violin part only, that's fine. So that I can watch it and make marks on the on your copy. And I think that's basically it.
And one thing we didn't say, unless it was said in Hebrew, Sean, you were a student of Mr. Perlman's for many years,
right.
And you were a participant in the Perlman Music Program here in the United States. So maybe you can offer a little bit of insight to the Israeli participants about what it's like to have a lesson with Mr. Perlman.
Let's see.
No pressure. No pressure.
Well, I
What should they know? What should they know?
I think basically what Mr. P said about the kind of repertoire you bring. I think you definitely want to be prepared to play it well, and you and I will work together as well. And so bringing pieces that you're not tired of and you've played a million times.
You don't have to play it totally well. I'm here to solve problems.
Yeah.
So if there are problems, I'm there.
Sure. Yeah. But
What
you know,
was it
you
like when you were
Was he mean?
No, Mr. P is not mean. He will, yeah. So, you know, it's up to you to practice and bring what you have, and you will learn so much, because I did for many years, and I'm very excited for you that you'll have a chance to play for him.
By the way, Sean is a terrific fiddle player, so just so that you know that.
Tov.
Very tov.
Uber Tov. Very Tov.
Toby, is there anything you want to add to this?
Yeah. This is, as I mentioned before, this curriculum is rigorous. It demands a lot from you in every way, especially physically, in terms of how many hours a day you're going to be playing. It's very important that you prepare properly, like an athlete. An athlete doesn't just run the marathon. The athlete works up to marathon speed and length, and I think you shouldn't do something like not practice and then suddenly 2 weeks before the program practice 5 hours or 6 hours a day, because I think that way it's a sure way to get hurt. I think that you should be doing as much work as you can for as long a period as you possibly can before we get started, so that you're really in shape physically and you're not asking your body to do something that it's not used to doing.